AFTV, Julian. I could see you. You were sat across the way from me. You were absolute nervous wreck. I never seen you like that, man. Trust me. If you had hair, you'd have pulled it all out. You know what I mean? Right? You were a wreck, bro. I never seen you like that. You were in a state.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. I don't have the ecstasy of the victory. What I've got is the relief of the non-defeat. And I'm normally so positive, but the whole game, I'm confused, absolutely confused by what I've seen over 2 games. Because when I looked at all the stats and I looked at Porto, I did all my research, I've seen how good Arsenal have been, and that shouldn't have been what we've seen. We should have seen a 4-5-0 here. We should have gone over there and won 2-3-0.
I warned you before we went there. And I told you that these teams are very experienced European teams. Porto are a team with, they've got European pedigree. They've won the Champions League. They've won the old European Cup. They've won the UEFA. They've done what we ain't done. So you've got to respect these teams. And they've got a lot of wily old characters in there like Pepe and these guys. So it was always going to be a very tough game. Yeah, we were over there, packed stadium. You know what I mean? Difficult games. This is what we're facing.
Yeah, look, I can't argue with that because the reality was what I predicted just didn't happen. And I felt in some respects we got a little bit lucky. We deserved to win, mainly because I think Porto didn't deserve to win with the tactics that they employed. We talk about it's a football game, and they played football in a completely different style to what I appreciate. They didn't play that game to win. They seemed to play for penalties, but they still had the capabilities they proved when they broke to actually beat us. And I actually, in one sense, felt a little bit relieved that it went to penalties, because when it did come to penalties, I looked at I looked at our team and I knew exactly which 5 players were going to take those penalties, and I had confidence in every single one of those 5 that they were going to put the ball away easily. And that's exactly what happened. And then what I looked at is if Porto players had put their penalties away, who was next in line? And I was still confident, and I could go through probably 7 or 8 Arsenal players that were on that pitch that would then score their penalties, no issue. And then I thought of a 9th one, which was Raya. And I think, had it come to it, Raya would have put the ball in the net.
No, forget him putting the ball in the net. I mean, everybody talks about how good he is at distributing the ball, but what he showed today with the penalty shootout, he's a great shot stopper. I mean, 2 huge saves, even the other one, he nearly got that as well. I mean, he was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, your player ratings, but for me, he was absolutely faultless. You've got to give the guy a 10 out of 10. I didn't see him do anything wrong. When he came out for a cross at one point, and he just plucked it. It was a hard cross. It went right across. It wasn't one that floated in the air and it always favours the goalkeeper. It was whipped in above his head. He just plucked it out the air, whereas I'd seen other keepers just try and punch it. Not him. Yeah. Perfect, absolutely perfect performance by him. Yeah. For me, he was our man of the match.
Yeah. Who do you want next then?
Well, I've got good contact at Inter Milan, which means I should have quite.
They're not actually through yet, by the way.
Yeah, so which means I shouldn't be sitting in a cage in the gods if we do get through. But talking about cages, I haven't got too many issues with the Porto fans, but I was quite disappointed by their behaviour when we had a corner. And you talk about us being put in a cage, and when these teams come to Arsenal, they get treated with absolute respect, the supporters, and sometimes those supporters don't deserve it, and a few of them didn't.
Where'd they get those bangers from, man? One of them, I thought he was man. I thought it was an AK up in the place, man. You know what I mean?
Probably was. I couldn't get a bottle of water in, so I don't quite know how they get explosives in. So yeah, it wasn't.
So who do you want Inter next?
No, I mean, from a selfish perspective, that I'd have a good seat. I'd want Inter. From a logistical perspective, I wouldn't mind Manchester, because even though I don't like the M6.
City.
I mean, I'll have City. No, because the other aspect is we wouldn't have to do too much travelling. Because the other thing is that we've got to think about. I know it's all about it's about the Champions League tonight. We want to win the Champions League, great, but after every Champions League game, there'll be a Premier League game. And if we go up to City and we don't have to travel and we haven't got to get back at 3, 4 o'clock in the
travelling,
morning.
yeah, I
This
mean-
is what you play for.
No, yeah, we play
You
for
might
it.
get back at 3 in the morning, the players ain't. Yeah, so City, we wouldn't be playing them 3 times before the end of the season.
But every time we've played City this season, we've had the better of them. So why couldn't we get the better of them over 2 legs?
No thanks.
No, well, look, you asked me who I want. I'd want City.
I wish I never know. You know what I mean?
I'd want City or Inter Milan. The third one would be Barcelona because it's not the new camp and it would be a new ground for my spreadsheet.